Hello everybody, Mr. LEGO Lover 55 here, and if you clicked on this video, well, you know the drill. We got some more custom Ninjago minifigures. These are once again coming from EM Minifigs, as there's been enough stuff added to the site to warrant another order here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump right into things.
Oh, already got stuff falling out. Oh, a lot of stuff. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, there's so... bruh.
Okay, so I'm gonna be real, this is a little bit more than I really expected here. This is actually more than I wanted to order here, and there's probably a reason for that. So I think I accidentally placed the same order twice on the site. The first order I placed I thought didn't go through fully, so I placed another one, and I guess that has left me with essentially double of what I ordered, which is a bit unfortunate because it was like a $35 order. Regardless though, there's actually a few figures in here I wouldn't mind getting extras of, so let's go ahead and take a look here. Oh, well, I suppose I have to actually build all of these first, so I guess I'll do that here. As much as I love these third-party figures, I do not enjoy connecting every single arm and hand to the torso. But anyways, we've actually got quite a bit to show here. First and foremost, I gotta highlight the dragon form ninja here, all 6. And now these aren't full-on custom figures. These are actually the official versions. However, what's actually custom about these are the added claw elements. Yeah, Minifigs was selling these for like $1 per pair, so I just had to pick up a full set. And these are honestly way cooler than I was expecting. Now, initially, I thought these were just going to be sort of like singular molds with like paint jobs over them, because typically third-party figures don't really do dual molding. But as you can see from here, they're actually all separate pieces that you have to put together, which is a little bit more tedious, but it's actually kind of a cool idea. Each pack also included a pair of dragon foot claws, which I don't think we ever saw in the show, so I'm assuming this is just kind of a unique custom edition that they threw in for whatever reason, just cuz I guess. And honestly, it looks pretty good. I'll probably be displaying them without them though. And now we actually did end up getting these claw elements in the official sets. However, as you can see here, they are all pearl gold. So these ones are just a little bit more accurate to the series, showcasing each of the ninjas' unique color schemes. I'll also say, I believe there's 2 different versions available on the site right now. The version that I went with, however, are the ones with the shorter claws, I believe. These ones are a little bit more jagged, whereas those ones are a little bit longer and sleeker. And I chose these ones because I believe these are a little bit more accurate to the show. These are honestly really cool. I think my only issue is just the way they connect. They don't really sit flush with the arm unless you have the hands upside down like this, whereas preferably I kind of want them to have the hand upright like so. However, when you attach it like that, there is a noticeable gap, so it looks more like an accessory rather than an actual claw that's a part of his body or a part of his this dragon form. It just feels a little bit more detached. Regardless though, still a really cool piece. And even though the official claws will likely be coming to Pick-a-Brick at some point, these kind of serve as a nice substitute in the meantime. And honestly, I wouldn't mind just getting extras of all the Dragon Ninja at some point, just to be able to display these claws specifically. And then next up here, we actually have a figure that currently does exist officially from LEGO. This is Kabuki Mask Harumi. And normally I don't like to get third-party figures that already exist officially. However, this one actually does a few things differently that I kind of like. First and foremost, it actually has leg printing, which the original does not. Second of all, the cape is actually like really big. I know the original figure doesn't actually come with the cape, but the cape she uses in the show is a piece that LEGO officially makes, and on this custom version it is just a lot wider for some reason. But then actually the main reason I wanted to pick this figure up was because of that face print. You see, the original one prints the mask on a yellow head, so we can have a double-sided expression with the "it's okay, she's with us" expression from Crystallized. However, this third-party one uses a white head. And now, being perfectly honest, I do prefer the direction that the official figure takes, as it gave us two different facial expressions. However, in terms of the mask look, I actually kind of prefer the third-party alternative. And on a similar note, this Morrow figure does already exist, and it is one that I do own. However, this one does something ever so slightly different, and that is include the green streak on his hair. And this is a really cool addition, because even though this version of him in the show doesn't have that streak, you can easily just take this and put it on an older Morrow figure to make it a little bit more accurate. In fact, let me actually just do that right now here. Oof, a little bit of a tight fit, but ooh, I do like that. That is pretty cool, actually. Let's see him without the mask. Oh yeah, that's sick. I like that. I think the streak is a little bit pale. It leans more towards sand green than the regular green that I believe it's supposed to be in the show. Even so, this is still a really cool way to upgrade this figure. Oof, it is really tricky to remove though. I don't like That is the one thing about these third-party parts, is they can sometimes go great and sometimes not so great with official parts. And this is unfortunately one of those cases. Okay, and additionally, I also got this this sort of pilot style Morrow suit. Not canon in the slightest, like at all, but I saw it on EM Minifigs and thought it looked pretty cool. And I also kind of needed to get the order total up a little bit so I could get free shipping. But you know, regardless, I would have gotten this eventually, probably. It's been on the site for a while, so. But you got that original ninja mask in dark green, which is pretty cool. And you also have this face print underneath, which I don't really know if I love or not. It definitely looks a bit off. Both of them, definitely. I think I think just generally the face, and I think especially the eyebrows, they just look way too big. Regardless though, suit's still pretty cool. And kind of on the subject of possession, we have these steep wisdom outfits for the ninja. And you can see we've got the original four here that we actually see in the series. However, the site also had Lloyd and Nia listed as well, despite them never wearing the outfits in the show. And now, to be honest, I mostly also got them just to kind of bump up the order total a little bit for the shipping. However, one thing that actually did surprise me with Nia's was her hairpiece, because you see she actually has that movie hairpiece, but instead with the blue headband for her ponytail, which is not a piece we've ever seen officially or really in any customs that we've taken a look at so far. So if you want, you can easily just swap that out on Nia's March of the Oni outfit to make it even more accurate. And then for the rest of these are really nice looking. I will say the all-around printing is a little bit uncanny. It's very much accurate to the show, don't get me wrong, but I'm just not used to seeing printing on the back like this. It's just super weird, especially on like the legs. Not the biggest fan, though it is pretty cool to see the side leg printing, and honestly kind of cool to see it on the side of the torso as well, weirdly enough. I think it's just the legs that give me kind of an ick. Zane's is also pretty cool here. He actually uses a drum lacquered silver for all of his metallic silver parts. So for the hands, the hair, and the head. And honestly, I'd say this is probably the best figure of the bunch, just because the facial expression looks the least uncanny. Like, I'm sorry, but if you look at like the rest of these, they just don't look right. Although Cole's here actually doesn't look that bad, at least with the hair on. There's just kind of a level of uncanniness. It's like, it's almost them, but not quite. Yeah, yeesh. The printing on Jay's face, for whatever reason, is way too big. I think Lloyd's, at least from a distance, doesn't look that bad, though you can definitely still tell that something about it is off. It is a bit unfortunate, especially with third-party alternative ninja suits that we've never gotten, to get all new facial expressions only for them to look really, really uncanny like this. To be fair though, going in, I kind of knew the facial expressions were going to look pretty uncanny, and I'm honestly pretty happy that at least Zane's looks somewhat normal, especially since he's got the unique silver coloring, so I would want his to be the best looking. And then in terms of accessories, I don't usually keep the third-party accessories that these figures come with. However, they actually have this really cool like poster print. I'm assuming these are supposed to be the flyers they're handing out in season 5.
Why won't you take the flyer? Just take the flyer!
surprisingly, like they're printed on like really smoothly, which is weird. Like they're very glossy, which is quite cool actually. And then they also have these teapots. I probably won't hold on to these, but they are kind of neat additions, especially since I think they're supposed to have like the teapots on their heads in the show. But yeah, generally there's a lot to like about these figures, but then also just a lot to kind of dismiss. And I very much appreciate the little things that came out of these guys. But then taking a look at some accessories, we have this metallic gold Asphera staff. Now I believe I actually did get one of these in silver in the very first custom minifigs video. However, after trying it on Asphera, I actually kind of preferred the staff to be gold instead. So I wanted to see how that looked on her. And I actually still have an extra fire scroll of Forbidden Spinjitzu here. I got plenty of them in the latest Bricklink haul. Definitely go check that out. Okay, see, I already like that a lot better than the silver. But then if you also watch the last customs video where I went over some custom upgraded elements, we have this all new Asphera with the golden snake tail. So I'm curious to see what she actually looks like with the staff here. And ooh, I love that. Okay, she looks really decked out here. This is amazing. Again, I think the silver is maybe a little bit more accurate, but this just looks cooler. The gold just matches better. Oh yeah, this is sick. I love this. We're upgrading upgraded custom figures, guys. It's upgradeception. And yeah, I do have 2 of those because I did accidentally order extras of everything, it seems. And then we additionally have this rogue hairpiece. Now I actually did showcase one of these on the, I believe, the second customs video with that custom Agent Walker. So how does this EM minifigs one hold up? Well, in comparison, it is very much noticeably more glossy, as you can see. To be honest, I do kind of prefer the coarseness of the one from Little Bear. It just feels more akin to the original hairpiece, which also had a similar roughness, I believe because it used like the soft plastic. However, if we go ahead and just try this on this spare rogue figure I have, it still works really well. Of course, Little Bear's custom are pretty limited in quantity, so if you ended up missing out on that Agent J or the hairpiece, this is a much more accessible option and still pretty good quality. And then we actually have this NRG SDCC Ryu. Now I actually already have one of these, however I got mine from Little Bear, and I was curious to see if there was actually a difference between the one that I got from them and the one that was being sold on EM minifigs. And I mean, just upon first glances, this is very much noticeably different. Primarily in the color, it is much brighter. Little Bear's is much more closer to dark blue than this one. This was more so a curiosity pickup than anything really. We also managed to get this Dark Matter Nia here, which is pretty cool. I know this is a figure that some people have wanted for quite a while, and to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, this figure is a little bit underwhelming. I mean, don't get me wrong, they did it like almost perfectly. There's not really anything wrong with this custom like at all. The printing is spot on. The facial expression is maybe a little bit off, but it works pretty well. I mean, I can't really say the same about the alternate expression, but you know, you can just ignore that one. Honestly, it's just kind of a boring figure, to be honest. It's literally just a grayscaled version of the original Nia outfit. Other than that, it doesn't really do anything like differently or cool or unique. Honestly, this figure might have been better if they included like some metallic printing for like some of the designs, but like otherwise there's not really a whole lot to this figure, I'm gonna be honest. Cool figure to have, especially since Lego doesn't seem interested in making it, but not really the most exciting, I'd say. Unlike this fella right here, and this guy right here. Oh, and this one, and this one. Oh, and don't forget about that one. This one too. Oh, and love that guy. Oh, I knocked him over. Yeah, so as you can see, I maybe went a little bit crazy once I found this certain listing on EM minifigs. Now, as far as rare Ninjago minifigures go, this Nindroid Sentry is pretty high up on the list. It's a figure I actually do thankfully own, as you may have seen in the minifigure showcase shorts or Ninjago Craze 3. However, the one thing that always saddened me was that this figure was limited to a single Bricktober pack, making it almost essentially impossible to army build. I mean, unless you're like this guy that I freaking found on Google Images for whatever reason, at least until now, because thanks to the power of third-party custom figures, it is actually possible to army build these guys, which is so cool because we actually see them like somewhat semi-frequently. They were in season 6 briefly, and then also again in season 12, and then we see them every now and then, at least with blue eyes, in Dragon's Rising, just randomly in the crossroads, and I guess even sometimes as administration agents. In fact, you know what, actually give me a second, guys. Hang on. This actually works out super perfectly because this one that I got here was actually missing an arm. So if I just steal that head off of the body here, bam! Nindroid Sentry Administration Agent, cause why not? But yeah, no, genuinely, these are really cool figures to actually be able to army build for once, in some capacity. As cool as these guys are though, they do have a number of issues. Number one is probably the legs. There is just a noticeable decrease in quality compared to some of the other third-party figures that are available on the site. You can see just like that gap there, that just does not look good. There's also just like a small nick in the torso on like, I'm pretty sure every single one of these guys. You can kind of see it like right there. And the other unfortunate part is this little injection site at the very top of the hood mold. You can see there's still a bit of leftover residue from that. I'm assuming these were like attached onto like a single sprue or something and were just like snapped off or whatever. And unfortunately, it's just left a little bit hanging there. Now, if you're willing, and I very much was because it just did not look good with it on like that, you can actually just kind of trim and sort of sand that part down using like a wire cutter and then as well like a pocket knife or something. That's what I used. And you can get a much smoother, much cleaner look here. Although you can see here, it's not perfect. You can kind of see some of that scraping, my attempts to kind of cover it up. But from afar, you can like barely tell it like that even occurred. We'll definitely be doing the same with these last two. I ended up just doing it on all of them. Didn't take too long, but no, genuinely, these might be like some of my favorite figures from this haul here. But I think that pretty much wraps up this little custom Ninjago figure haul. Again, definitely let me know if there's any custom figures or accessories out there that you'd want me to cover. There are a few sellers still out there that I would like to try products from that are currently on my list. For Weapons Blacksmith, for example. But if there are any other sellers I haven't talked about yet, or even upcoming products from sellers we've covered in the past, definitely let me know, and I'll see what I can do. If you're a Ninjago fan or aspiring Ninjago content creator, consider checking out the Crossroads Discord server. Plenty of Ninjago fans and content creators to meet and collaborate with. And if you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like or subscribing to the channel for more content like it. But I think that's about all I have to say here, so I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and keep building.